Starting to look like a garage. Hello there, hubby homesteaders. Welcome back to Peak's Peak. We are back to work on the building just a little bit. And today, and probably the rest of this week, is setting trusses. That's what we're gonna get started on. Now, I don't necessarily have my plan ironed out for exactly how we're gonna do all of this. I've pretty well got a plan for the gable end trusses, but I had a neighbor, a different neighbor, come over and offer to loan me a bunch of scaffolding for my job. So I think everybody drives by and sees me climbing up and down the building, they feel sorry for me, so they come and offer help. And that's great. So we really appreciated that. So I've got a truckload of scaffolding here that my neighbor loaned to me, as well as this laser transit level or whatever it's called, so that I could check and make sure everything's right before I start setting trusses. He used to be a builder, and so, you know, he knows how important that stuff is, and I'm kind of just flying by the seat of my pants. But luckily, we checked everything on our top stringer, and we're within 1/8 of an inch of every corner. So everything worked out really good on that, and we don't have to move or adjust our boards on top. So I'm happy about that. So now that we got that checked and everything's level and ready to build on, I think what we're gonna do today is maybe try to hoist up the gable end trusses. And if we can get those set, then we'll set up some scaffolding and try to figure out our plan for putting up the next set of trusses. All right, so our plan for the gable trusses, which we're getting ready to put into action, is I got this pulley, and I actually picked this pulley up at an antique shop yesterday for 12 bucks. So I got that, run my rope through it. I put those eyelets on there, which this is not the exact plan that we had when we put those posts up, but I put those lag bolt eye bolts in the top of that post up there so that we could attach our rope to it and hoist them up. So I think what we'll be able to do now is, between me and Cameron, we can tie onto this truss and we can pull the rope, hoist it up there to where it'll sit on top of that 2x4, and then one of us can climb up there and hook it in. We should be good to go. So that's what we're gonna try. We'll see how it works out. All right, so here's our first go at it. We've got it tied under the corners here to try and pull it straight up. I don't know if that will work exactly, but we also got this pull to release our knot, because once we get it nailed in, we want to be able to get it loose easily. How hard? So far, the stretch is not even moving it.
We might get a snatch block.
Yeah, we might, because that's not working the way I expected. Hold, got a good grip. Hold.
Hang on.
Can you hold?
No. I got it wrapped up on my fingers.
All right, so that's not gonna work. Fail number one. Round two, here's the plan. All right, so we've got our rope tied to the top of the truss, and it goes up and over to the inside of the building. We've got extension ladders on each end. So what we're gonna try to do now is see if we can just me and Cameron, each carry one end up the ladder together, while somebody, probably my wife, holds the rope inside and just keeps the top from tipping out this way, kind of steadies our balance. If it feels a little bit sketchy, we'll bail on that before we get very high. But that's our next attempt. If we can just get it up there and get it set into place, and she kind of holds tension on it, keeps it from tipping back, we can get it in position and nail it. So I think that will work, but we'll see. All right, grab your end and come out of there. That's what your job is. Pull.
Oh, too far.
Pull. Yeah, I don't know about this. I don't think you're going to be strong enough to help us. And that's not a shot at you. I don't know that I would either. but there's too much flex in the middle.
And it's like the rope keeps slipping out of my hands.
Yeah. Unwrap your fingers with the long. Fail number 2. Is this fail number, or is this attempt number 3?
Something like that.
Yeah. All right. So next we have braced the posts. We built ramps, and we're going to try to use the tractor and the pulley to pull it up that way. Now we'll just kind of take it slow and see what happens, and watch the building, make sure that it doesn't not going to tear anything up.
I don't want to go from there until I watch.
No. Stand back here.
I was gonna stand over here and watch the wall.
Yeah. Okay. Fortunately, that was not fail number 3. It worked. It was a little sketchy. There's a lot of stretch in that rope, and that kind of scared me. But we kind of put some safety nets in there in the way of one screw on each of these boards here to keep it from sliding down. So yeah, I don't know that that was the best method. We'll probably stop for lunch and kind of analyze our procedures and before we do the one on the other end, but we'll try to get both the gable end trusses up today, and then we'll set up scaffolding and all that before we set up the ones in the middle. Got our second gable end truss put up, and this one went better than the first one. We used kind of the same method. We got our pulley positioned a little bit better this time, so our rope didn't get bound up. So it pulled up real easy, went right into position. We got her nailed in. So now I'm gonna climb up there and put a few more screws in it just for extra support, and then we're gonna start setting up scaffolding. We got to figure out how we want to go about setting up our scaffolding to make putting up these trusses in the center the easiest, and I'm not real sure how we're going to do that yet. So we'll try a few things and see what we come up with. So this afternoon, I'm gonna try to get one truss put up on the inside here. Don't have a whole lot of time to work today. Cameron's got class he's got to leave for here probably within an hour. So we wanted to just get one or two a night set throughout this week so that Saturday we won't have them all to set. I'd like to finish up the trusses this week, so that's the plan. We're gonna get to it. All right, so these boards are our spacers to put our trusses on 4-foot centers. We just basically cut slots so that we can slide them down on top of it once we get the truss in place to hold it until we get the purlins on it. These are screwed to the end of the truss, and as we walk it up one side, we'll hook this in on top of the header in between the two header boards or stringers or whatever you want to call it. So we'll hook it in there, and we got one on the other end down there. And then once we flip it over, this will sit in that slot and hold it from sliding out while we flip it over. And we've got them on the side so that even when it's flat, they'll hold in those and it won't let it slide off the top rail. Should have worked. All right, so I brought y'all up here just to show you. I got these boards that I cut with the slots in them. And of course, naturally, when you cut with a circular saw, it leaves an angle when you knock that little block out. So if you use them on the correct side, it fits in here just perfect where these pretty much stand up. And it's made this, we don't have it screwed in yet, and it's made it pretty solid here. We got it in place on 4-foot centers, and Cameron's got to go to class, so he's heading out. And I'm going to go ahead and get everything adjusted and measured out and make sure that we're running straight on the walls and attach this one and probably call it a night. I just kind of wanted to try the process. When I get down from here, I'll tell you what I thought of it. To share with you what I felt was a little bit sketchy about the way that we did it this time. We tied a rope to the center and threw the rope up on the center scaffolding. And Cameron got on this side and he helped flip it while I pulled with the rope. Now, the reason I felt like that was sketchy was because he didn't have really good leverage where he was set up. He was too far in, and so he had a real narrow section of it to be twisting on. And I had to pull pretty hard with the rope. Well, to have enough grip to pull it up with the rope, I wrapped it around my hand. And then I got to worrying that if he slipped or lost his leverage, it might pull me off the scaffolding. So I didn't like that feeling. If you can't tell, I'm a little bit afraid of heights. So we probably will approach this a little bit differently for the next one. What we may do is set the scaffolding up on this side and push it up, and then have our two boards, instead of being up at the top, have one on that end and one on that end, and set them. I don't know, I'll think about it. It'll be tomorrow night before we get to the next one, but anyway, I'll set you back up while I put in a couple of just temporary purlins on top, and then I'm gonna call it a night. I gotta change the oil in the van. All right, 3 trusses down, 7 to go. And I figure we can do one tomorrow night, maybe one Thursday night or 2. We'll be well on our way. I expect to Saturday finish up getting the trusses, and then I'll be able to get my scaffolding arranged to where I can start putting my purlins on. We're still making progress. Thursday evening, we're gonna get a truss or 2 put up here. So we're gonna get to work. Guys, well, we got 2 trusses put up there, and this place turned into Grand Central Station there for a few minutes. I had one neighbor come up, and he said he had a bunch of pumpkins that he wanted rid of that were rotten, and wondered if my pigs would want them. So he came back with a whole load of rotten pumpkins, and so we threw those to the pigs. And then my other neighbor came. He had borrowed my Kubota tractor, and he was bringing it back, so we had to get it unloaded and all that. Cameron had to go to class. So now I've got 2 trusses set in place, but I need to finish nailing them in, and I'm gonna call it a night on this. It's Friday evening, and we are to work on the trusses. In fact, we got right down to business, and I forgot to start filming, so had to go get the camera. Anyway, we're gonna try to get 2 trusses put up tonight, Lord willing, and then tomorrow we'll finish the last 3. So hopefully we'll have all the trusses on here real soon. All right, Saturday morning, we got 3 trusses left to set, so that's our plan for today. May get a few purlins put on, but the biggest thing is get these 3 trusses up, and so yeah, we're gonna go ahead and get started. we have trusses on our building. Got them all up with the help of our neighbor Randy. He come down and lend us a hand, and help of our neighbor Eugene, who loaned us his scaffolding. So yeah, excited to have that part out of the way. I'm not a big fan of heights, as I've mentioned before. So yeah, we've got a little bit more heights work to do, but I don't think it'll be as bad as flipping over trusses on top of the scaffolding 13 feet in the air. So yeah, I'm kind of a big baby like that. But anyway, pretty excited about it. Starting to look like a garage. Well, all right guys, we really appreciate you watching. We've got all the trusses up, so we're gonna call this video done. We will move on to putting purlins on the roof next, and then it'll be time to start wrapping this thing in some metal. So yeah, it's coming right along. We appreciate y'all watching. Hey, I don't do this too often, but I want to ask y'all, be sure if you're not a subscriber, go down there and click that subscribe button. Our channel's been growing really well. I'm excited about it, and we're on the march to try to get 1,000 subscribers. So if you enjoy what we're doing and you want to keep up with our videos, be sure and hit that subscribe button. Thank y'all for watching. Y'all have a good day.